Let's actually observe the market in itself. When we look at it, you'll have to understand the market based on multiple time horizon to see what exactly is happening. Say on an hourly, it shows you you're going up, you're going up, you're going very good. It's a green momentum. You put it on a 4 hour, it looks like you're going good. It is actually fine. It looks good. But my question is, what does the pattern look like? Where is your resistance? All these has to be taken into account and slowly pull out into a higher time frame scenario. So this is a 12-hour chart and it is still looking green above the moving average, which is all good. Now I go to a daily and it still says, okay, I slowed down a bit, but I'm still holding above the moving average. I'm trying to push back higher, which is good. Now, what I want to ask you guys is this thing. The resistance which we reached back in July, are we still flirting with that region? It kind of seems like we are. One, the pattern which we developed over the time, did we invalidate that or break that? So this is the pattern. The bottom comes somewhere around 180 here as a support. If we lose that, here we go down. If we break this, here we go up. But as of now, this is the pattern. Fine. Now let's remove all of those and go on to the higher time frame. There's a 3-day, and by the time we reach a 3-day, 3 days arguing, I was good, I was green, but I'm slowing down a bit. I'm starting to turn red. Now, last couple of times when it turned red, either it reached the moving average or just below that, or it broke the moving average. Now, let's see what it would be. I don't know whether it's going to just reach the moving average or it's going to actually breach the moving average, because all these scenarios have played out in the past. So we have to check on that too. Now, the moving average in itself is somewhere close to that 185 mark. Remember the pattern? That support was close to 180. So even if it actually breached this, you may still hit that region of support. That can still be good. Now, yes, when you go in, zoom in, you kind of see a lot of volatility, especially in these assets. You see maximum volatility, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's a lot happening. But the moment you zoom a little bit out, look at it on a macro perspective, because we just had a weekly candle close today. It is still green. It is still pushing to the upside. It's looking good. The momentum is still fine. And that is where we want to see if the long-term negative divergence is invalidated. As of now, it did not. So did the price go up? Yes, it did. But did it actually invalidate the negative divergence or the overhead resistance, selling pressure? No, it did not. That is the scenario. Now, come on to Bitcoin side of the equation. Let's pick a 4-hour chart. What are you really doing? You're taking trend line as a support, which is a good thing. But then you actually go on to a higher time frame to see what exactly you're doing. And you kind of see like, okay, we made a local region. We faked that out. We made a local support. We broke that to the downside. Now we are retesting that region. It's not only retesting, it's below the moving average. That is a concern. The more time you flirt and remain below the moving average, the impact to the downside can be much higher. Now that actually depends on a higher time frame equation where you may bring in that. But think about this. As of now, if you look at the trend of the market, it is still holding on to this as a support, which is a good thing. If you're a bull, you would look at this and say, no, that was a resistance before for sure. Now I'm holding on to that as a support. So the question is, when you plot this resistance and then see this saying, oh, see, I went up, but I'm coming back down and holding that as a support, that worked back then. Now, why did the price actually go lower back then? Because the RSI does not match up. RSI said, no, someone is selling. Maybe it's whales, maybe it's financial institutions, but they are selling. Why? I don't know. Now you look at this. It kind of matches up like that. Now, is that the big capitulation scenario like the 80% drop? No, it was not. While the RSI got rejected here at 70 region, the 70 region, the price put in the all-time highs for sure. Everyone was bullish. Even I was bullish. I got slapped. So I learned not to go bullish while the RSI is slowing down at 70 and the price is at the all-time highs. Because the first drop there was just 50%, nothing big. It was still in the bull market. Good. For us, this time around, there's a difference. That support is here, which means you may not actually see a 50% drop. Rather, you will look at a 40% drop. That still will be the biggest drop in the entire cycle started from 2022 November. Let's say Jan 2023. So if we plot that and argue the point, 2023, 2024, until this point in 2025, 2.5 years to the upside, that would be the first time around where you will see the price dropping 40%, 1. 2, price breaking this trend line. Now, yes, it's just visualizing what may happen based on what the RSI is arguing, based on what the MACD is arguing. Not everyone would agree, because back then, even I did not agree with the price action. But there was a point where the trend line broke. See this? This is the exact point. Trend line broke, you reached the primary support, but we gave up that support. And this is exactly where things actually turn against us and we go down. Now, that's just Bitcoin side of the equation. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Now you go on to the different side of the equation. You go pick up the total crypto market. You want to actually see how this is playing out. Price is still at the all-time highs for sure. You had this particular region, which we have in here. We have this particular region. We break above that. Good. Everyone goes bullish. We break above that. Yeah, that was true. But even at that time, the RSI on a weekly failed to go beyond the 70 region. Overbought region means you have max amount of buyers, but on a weekly, you're failing to bring that amount of buyers. And you're abiding by this. Okay, maybe you say, no, that's just because Bitcoin is doing that. It's visible on the total crypto market. Let's put that equation onto alt market. Let's remove Bitcoin from that picture. When we do that, what we see is the fake out was not that big. Now, this is where we are. Are we going to do the fake out? Maybe we are. Maybe we are. Now, when did the fake out actually start? The second attempt on the RSI when it was trying to reach the 70 plus region. So second attempt is going on. Now, why am I saying this? Because the short term, you're watching a lot of these charts turn bullish. And on the resistance path, when you plot that, you can actually see the fact that the price action may go up to this region. Say, for example, 220, 222 in this particular asset to hit that region of resistance, and then it may come down, right? So looking at all of this, you need to understand the short-term moves can be very, very important. A breakout here may actually bring in short-term bulls back in, but they may actually miss the idea of there is a trend line like this, which you can plot either like this or like this. There is a trend line like this, which may retain a lot more attention. Because if you remove the micro pattern from here, you still have this playing out. If that plays out, it's actually good, it's actually great. But understand the macro scenario on the alt market, on the Bitcoin, on the total crypto market remains the same. Why is that really important? If it all remains the same, what do we care about, right? I mean, you should care about that, because if weekly is playing out in that way, what would the monthly look like? Because the monthly is still failing to enter into the overbought territory. If we are hyper bullish, why is it not happening that we are entering into the overbought zone? We're going parabolic. There's something happening in there. So we'll actually put this on to the monthly and we are watching this. Now, when you abide by the rules, it kind of stick with you clearly. What is the rule? You actually saw capitulation at this region, okay? You have a long way to the downside on the RSI to say we are reaching 45, close to the capitulation zone. Fine. But if we actually align that lines close to the RSI region where we lost the 68-70 region to the downside, that is something you can highly correlate with in each and every cycle. Not once, each and every time. So when you actually try to abide by the rules, whether it's in this cycle, whether it's in 2021 cycle, whether it's in 2014 cycle, you kind of get to see, okay, if that's happening, is not actually good. Whether it's on a micro, whether it's on a macro, monthly chart, dropping below 70 plus region on your RSI may not actually show you something which we really want to do. I mean, honestly, none of us actually want the RSI to drop that low. We want the bull market to continue. We want the bull market to actually extend to the upside. But if the monthly is arguing that it is slowing down, and then the weekly chart is supporting that argument that, yeah, I'm failing to reach the overbought territory, then we have an issue there. We need to find a solution. We need to see what exactly may happen. Now, you can be a bull, you can be a bear, but macro direction should not be changed. So I hope you actually got something out of this. There's a lot of volatility. Watch how you play safe.